Welcome back to LEGO by the Book. I'm Captain Xavier, and today I'm going to be building set 31076, Daredevil Stunt Plane. This is one of the 3-in-1 sets, so there are 3 different sets to build, and we will build the alternate options before we build the main one, and that's the one that I'll probably keep assembled and put on display because it just looks neat. I have absolutely no memory of being sent this set or who sent it, and for that I apologize. It tells you how far behind I am on building sets that I've been sent, and so I am ever continuing to try to get caught up. The problem is I tend to get sent sets faster than I can get them built, but today was a good day to build, so I'm gonna. Let's see what we got. We have 3 different instruction books. Lovely. Let's start with the boat. That looks fun. Okay. Bags are not numbered. It is not surprising because they really couldn't. They reused the parts from the various smaller sets. Alright. Put together our our Daredevil. There he is, in his flashy suit, his helmet with goggles, and his smarmy grin. Most excellent. Alright, let's build a boat. I really like the 3-in-1 line. I feel that it does a good job of encouraging the creativity that I always felt was the best part of LEGO, as opposed to treating them like models. I had a friend growing up who, he was encouraged to basically treat LEGO like they were model building sets. You'd build the set based on the instructions and put it on display, and that was it. Where I was from the school of, you build it once because it's neat to build the set, but you almost immediately tear it back apart and build something new with it. And I understand the model building when you come to things like the Ultimate Collector's Series Star Wars stuff, because those are, the kinds of things that are amazing to have on display. But things like Castle or Pirate or that line, I always felt, there were ways to improve them or to combine them or to be able to play with them. I was always about playing with LEGO as opposed to, if I wanted something that was a hyper-realistic model, I'd get a model set. Now, the LEGO Star Wars stuff are fairly accurate these days and look cool on display. So the whole idea of having a series that is built around alternate models, where they clearly designed the big airplane first, that was clearly the set that they built to begin with, and then they took those parts, the parts from that set, and figured out what else could we build with these parts. And maybe we'll add in a few extra parts if there's something we really want to add, but for the most part it's clear that that's the big set uses pretty much all of the parts, and then the smaller ones use some subset of them. And I like that. I like that. And they're also just, a great source of parts. They're neat sets with different themes, sea monsters or dinosaurs. I don't know. Well, part down. It's probably the kind of part that there were extras of them, so I'm not too worried about it. Whatever you are particularly into, there is probably a 3-in-1 creator set out there that suits your particular interest. And I like that. And I like how they've got smaller ones like like these, which are, you know, definitely on the lower end of the size scale. But then, of course, they have like the big pirate one that came out recently. That was a 3-in-1 hull built or brick built hulled pirate ship in it. Yeah. I continue to live in hope that success of various pirate sets that they have recently come out with will result in am I not seeing a part? Why am I not seeing a part? Is it in a bag? I don't see it in the bag. It's stuck under a part. No. Oh, there it is. Yep, it was under a part. Continue to hope that success of pirate sets that have come out will result in a new full pirate line. Same with Castle. They seem to be testing the water. If they came out with one of those lines, would they be successful? Would it be popular enough to be worth it? I would certainly spend a lot of money on a good new pirate line or a good Castle line. Interesting. Interesting. I love that the faction that they have resurrected for the Castle line is the Black Falcons, because they were always one of my favorites. One of the first Castle that I got was the Black Falcons Castle, and I've always had a special place in my heart. There we go. Yeah, right. There we have a little Daredevil boat. I like how they did the engines on that. It's a neat engine design, the cover and all of that. Yeah, neat little set. Alright, let's tear it apart. Build the next thing. Not sure what it is. On to set number the next one. It appears to be, I don't know. We'll build it and find out. Same mini. Oh, except apparently he doesn't have his goggles anymore. I'm leaving the goggles on unless they don't fit. They don't look... I think they're not going to fit. They don't fit. Fascinating. Okay, well. No goggles this time. That just seems terribly unfair. So as always, what do you guys think? What would you like to see from LEGO in the future? Things you would like them to bring back, or things that you don't like? I think there needs to be more small sets. There seems to be a shortage of little sets at the moment. It just feels like it's leaning more towards the really big sets, the $100 and $200 sets. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot in the way of $5, $10 sets anymore. And those are the ones that I would like, because I would almost certainly, anytime I went into any store that sold Lego, pick up one of those. Pick up a smaller set. Which is why I would love to see a pirate or a castle line come out. And have it, have those little sets. One that comes with, one or two minis and the polybag sets, the little sets that you can easily justify picking up because they're not very expensive. But maybe they just, after years of, they've been in the business for a very long time, may have just discovered that those were not a viable option. They weren't, for the cost of producing and selling them, they weren't, you know, worth the effort. Whereas the big ones, especially lately, you know, there's been a resurgence of adults who love Lego. Apparently there was a particular large increase in that over the pandemic because people had, you know, they couldn't do their outdoor hobbies anymore, and so they picked up indoor hobbies, and Lego's a good one. And there it is. And I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a rocket car or a very small rocket plane or what exactly they are going for here. I particularly like the way they did the back wheel mounts. I'm not sure why, but I like it. And here's why he can't have his goggles on, because this whole canopy would get in the way. Yeah, another neat little set. Color balance is good. The wings fold up. I don't know what that's about, but they do. Canopy opens. This goes up. Pretty sure that's not really a feature. Yeah, neat little set. All right, let's get on to the big one, to the big biplane, because that just looks like a neat set. All right, we're on to the final one. This is the actual Daredevil stunt plane. He does have his goggles back for this one, which is good, because you should always wear eye protection. All right, let's do this thing. I'm sure I have a biplane or two in my collection. I don't recall ever building one before, which is why I wanted to do this one last, because I will probably keep it built on account of it just sounds like a really neat set, and there aren't a whole lot of parts in here that are likely to be terribly useful for my other builds. Not enough to warrant, you know, just scrapping this for parts. Given the color and the nature of the parts, it's just going to have more value to me as a set on display than it would being parted out. Interesting build choices. There's definitely, while, like I said, I'm fairly certain they build the big set first and then work out what else could we build with these parts, but there's also definitely, I would imagine, a certain amount of building the main set in a way that it provides a lot of spare parts, useful parts, interesting parts that can be used in the other builds. As opposed to if they were making just this set, they would probably have designed a number of things significantly differently, more efficient or more detailed. There are certainly a lot of stuff I've seen so far, parts that are buried deep down that are a neat little detail, but you can't see it at all, but it provided you with some neat detailed parts that would help with the other sets, or the other builds. So it's clever, it's creative, and I really like these sets. Interesting. It's starting to look like a plane. And there it is, our Stunt biplane. And it is a neat little build. I really like it. Again, I like the way they did the landing gear down there. Propeller is lovely. Smoke coming out of the engine there. The flaps are articulated. The tail fin isn't. It's kind of an interesting way that they did that. Like I said, there was just a whole bunch of interesting design choices that I think are geared towards providing lots of parts as opposed to going for a really solid or really simple or elegant build. There's a lot intended to make sure that there's plenty of parts for those other two builds, which is obviously necessary. We do have the usual plethora of spare parts. All the little ones you get, and spare goggles. Didn't even use them in one set, but we've got extra. Some of these we could obviously augment the design. We did have a spare star. We could put a star right there on the nose. Eminently swooshable. It is it's quite solid. I really actually like the way they did the wings in order to get just a little bit of tilt on them, but it's still definitely solid. I think that's neat. They did curve the front surface. That's something I haven't seen on, obviously wouldn't have been something you would have seen on previous ones because these kind of slopes didn't exist way back in the day. But yeah, just a neat little set, and I definitely will be keeping this one on display somewhere. I don't know where yet, but I like it. I like the colors, bright colors, good design. So, to whomever sent me this set, my thanks. You probably know who you are, assuming you remember, but you were awesome, and I appreciate it, and thank you guys for watching.